What's up, everybody? On episode 10 of the No Name Radio Show, we had Alabama's own Southern rocker, country singer-songwriter, all-around badass, Miss Taylor Hunnicutt. She opened for the Steelwoods here in Memphis. I found out she was opening literally the day before the show, and I was already going to the show. But I took a shot in the dark, and we were able to sit down with Taylor. It was my first in-person recording of any of these podcasts, so it was definitely cool. Her and her band both. I was already a fan, but they made me even more of a fan. So thanks to her, thanks to her crew, and the guys in the band. Everybody was extremely cool. And also want to say thanks to Lafayette's Music Room in Memphis, because they were kind enough to give us a space to do that, to do the interview. So appreciate that. And also thanks to my buddy Mr. Deaton for helping me set all this up and everything in really short notice. So yeah. This was a really cool interview. It's totally different doing these in person. Hopefully this is going to be more of a regular occurrence also. So anyway, check it out. Let me know what you think. Miss Taylor Hunnicutt. He was a basketball player and a commentator, but he's like, save it for the show. It is.
Okay.
But he was an old hippie, so that's all he would say, you know. But
I love that. I love that.
But Seth, or are you? Okay. Good. Okay, well, cool then. Well, we weren't saving it for the show. We're already on.
We're already into it.
But I'm going to download this, and so we'll be able to post it and edit it and all that shit later. So yesterday, I see that Taylor Hunnicutt is opening up for Steelwoods, and it was kind of a shot in the dark to be like, you know, wonder if we could sit down with her or not in a day's notice. And man, you were cool enough to join, so man, I definitely appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So you Steelwoods, let's start right there then, because you said bucket list show.
Absolutely.
Well, how long? Like, what's the deal with that? I mean, I'm a huge fan. We've seen them several times too.
I've seen them. I mean, I don't even know how many times I've seen them, but I've been very vocal that they've been my favorite band for probably the past 5 or 6 years. I mean, really, since I've been trying to do this and more of the Southern rock thing. And it's been crazy, you know, whenever they announced that they were going to stop. I woke up and I was just bawling my eyes out. I called my agent and I was like, I'm never going to get to do this. I'm never going to get to perform. It's on my career list, like the top of my goal list. For my whole life, my dreams. And he was like, let me calm down. Let me see what I can do. And so it ended up working out that we got this one, and we have Shreveport on, is it Saturday, Sunday? What day is it? Where am I? I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Yeah, so I imagine that was a hell of a phone call to get.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, dream come true, really. You know, I've seen them play so many times, and I've been on bills on festivals, but I've never been direct support, so it's finally getting to happen. So it's crazy. It's bittersweet.
Yeah, I mean, just coming to see them. Same for us. You know, because we saw them open up for Blackberry Smoke years ago. It was right when their was a Straw in the Wind album, I believe.
Yes.
Just dropped. Like they were still kind of working out the kinks, I think, at that time, and because you could tell like Rowdy messed up a couple times.
Yeah.
Possibly was intoxicated a little bit. I'm not 100% sure.
No way.
But Wes was kind of giving him the eye. It just looked that way. But it was, you could tell from the get-go.
Right.
Like nobody in the room knew who they were, but they started with acts, and they did a harmony part at the beginning, and the whole room shut up.
Yeah. They just dropped their pants right then.
Pretty much, yes.
Like,
because they were all there to see Blackberry Smoke, but it's the same kind of. That was a perfect marriage.
I think so.
For them to get started.
Those are my top two. So there you
go. I think that was. I've heard Wes say that those fans that started with Black on that tour have been like the base.
Yeah.
So,
which is cool, you know, that people really dig into something that they relate to like that, and they find that within another band, an opening band, and that's kind of what we hope to do, you know?
Yeah, because people don't always shut up and pay attention.
No, they don't. I'm real used to that. I'm real used to that.
All right, so, I had Tim Gooden on. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Oh, yeah. I'm a fan.
He was super cool. But he mentioned the fact that he used to get really aggravated when people didn't listen,
Yeah.
you know, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But he also eventually realized that I need to be paying attention to the ones that are listening.
Yeah.
And like that we should all think about that stuff,
Right.
you know what I mean? But it's hard to.
Yeah.
Have you had those moments, like as far as shows where you can tell nobody knows you, but
Oh, yeah.
but when the show's over, they're meeting you at the merch table?
Yeah. That's kind of like our whole thing is, you know, I used to do singer-songwriter stuff and do it by myself, and I got a lot of that, just talking over some blonde chick with a guitar. You know, they don't give a shit about that. They don't want to hear about that. And now I think we kind of just like shove it down their throats so they have to listen to it. And then really the thing I think that has helped us the most in our career is the fact that as soon as we get off stage, it's crazy how it's worked out that we're fans of everybody we get to open for. I mean, Whitey shows, whoever, we're out in the front because we're excited to see the show. We don't want to be on the side.
Yeah,
we want to be in it. So we go straight back to the back to the merch table, and I make 100 friends a night. I don't think of them as fans. They're more friends. So when I know I'm coming back to Kansas City, I'm like, oh yeah, that's that one dude that I hung out with and we did, you know, tequila shots. Hopefully he'll be there this time. And I think that's what makes us likable, is because we go out and we hang out and we make friends. And you know,
well, I know a lot of people don't do that because they're introverts. A lot of musicians are introverts.
We're all kind of like that, but we're like, you know, get a couple drinks in us.
But you realize that it's a great business model.
It's also just so fulfilling to get to go hug people and then be like, I've never heard of you before, but you're so cool and you're out here hanging out.
Yeah, that's badass.
And I want to come back to see you. And then you build this whole group to where you look out to the crowd next time you're playing a small gig and you're like, I know 50 people here from last time.
Have you found that getting that connection with folks is easier with the band?
Yeah, I mean, look at them. You know, they demand attention.
They are hunks. Yeah.
They're all giant, burly. You know, and they're all fun, and we're all just so grateful that we get to do this.
But the sound, it just catches everybody's ear a lot more.
Yeah,
compared to
it's loud.
Well, good.
Whether they like it or not. Like, whoa, what was that?
Sorry, sound guy.
Yeah. That's every night of my life. Sorry, sound guy.
Well, shit. I mean,
yeah.
we play bar bands, but we're still get the same.
Yep.
You know, can y'all turn down?
Nope.
Sure.
Yeah. God, those guitar players.
Never touch it.
It's the guitar players every time.
No, that's that guy over there.
Yeah. Guilty.
But that's why I love him. So when you meet those people and build that relationship after the show, I'm sure that's a huge motivation to keep on, because I'm sure at times it gets aggravating. I wonder why the hell you're right
every morning around 10
around 10 when you got to leave the campsite and all that stuff. I got you. So, but I'm sure that is a lot of motivation. Like every night, it's like reassurance. We're doing good.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like we're making, I don't know if it's a difference, but I feel like we're bringing joy into people's lives, and they're bringing joy into my life. So it's a mutual thing, and it makes everything worth it. It's the only reason we do this, because it ain't for the money. That's for sure. Or how healthy we are.
I believe you on all those things. Hopefully, the grind will make it to where you are,
we live for it, man.
Making that money.
Yeah.
So you started off with the singer-songwriter, more of that thing.
Yeah.
Eventually got to the band. You have music out there, kind of in both lanes, right? Your first thing was more singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
And he said, not as happy with that product.
I don't even know who that girl is. I think.
Understandable. How
that
long
girl-
ago was that?
That was
Like
2018, I think.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So it's, yeah.
I didn't even have. I'd written like 3 songs, and a friend of mine kind of put me into doing an EP, and I took some of his songs and kind of did the thing, and that was the introduction to all of it.
But was
really.
was it fruitful for you as far as like did it help kind of get things rolling, or was that just a
Yeah, no, I think it definitely did. I don't think it. I think it was good to have something out that showed people
could
who I
pitch
was. Yeah, exactly. And some people love those songs and still ask for me to play those songs, but I think we've definitely shifted into what I always envisioned I wanted to
what's
be.
home?
Yeah, which is more like, outlaw, southern rock. I don't know what the hell it is. Alabama music. I don't know what you want to call it.
I mean, a lot of great music came out of there.
Yeah.
Made there. I mean,
True.
that sounds, it's kind of generic to mention Muscle Shoals and all that, but
Yeah.
but there's still, it's undeniable.
Oh yeah, I feel like we're having a resurgence right now of like Alabama bands coming out. And
Wasn't Wes from
yeah.
Alabama?
Oh yeah.
Right? That's
Oh
what I
yeah.
was thinking.
Yeah.
Again, just to tab on that just a little bit. I'm sad to see him go.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what he may be doing.
Right.
I don't know what their plans are, but we're probably still going to hear music
I
somehow.
hope so.
Yeah,
I'm
me
going to
too.
be severely depressed if not.
I guess we'll go back to the beginning of everything, but we're already talking about the new album. So you, how long's that album been out?
What month is it?
It's June. I know. I had to think about it too.
I think it came out in March. Shit, I don't even know.
That's all right.
It's been a couple months. I think like 3.
But it's
is it 3
relatively
months?
new.
Yeah, it's pretty new.
So and I kind of went down the credits of it. I had less than 24 hours
Yeah,
to research.
yeah.
But
I'm impressed so far.
I knew your music. All right, you were on my radar because of Hood.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Adam Hood fan.
Me too.
When he, I think maybe the same day he had a song release for himself.
I think so.
And then he had the one with you, something to that nature.
It was very close.
Promoting 2 songs at the same time. One
Yeah.
was with you, and one was him. And so, of course, I had to go listen. How did that relationship happen?
Everybody who's really trying to do it in Alabama kind of knows each other, but my husband was from Opelika, where Adam's from. And I was just thinking, I was like, man, what do I have to do to get a hood cut on this record? I need a hood cut. I need that like soulful kind of, straight up, unapologetically Alabama thing. And he was like, just text him. And so Josh texted him, and I was expecting him to be like, I don't know, we'll see. And of course, Adam just sends over like 140 songs. I was like, pick. And so I got to listen to all these crazy unreleased Adam Hood songs. Some of them have Brent on them. Some of them have Miranda on them. Some of them have Bonnie Bishop on them. It's crazy.
And they're all just work tapes.
And it was just so difficult to pick one. But I felt like nobody's business. It's fun. It's catchy. It's a beautifully written song with really cool vocal melodies. But it also is like underlyingly outlaw, like mind your business, like stay out of my business. I got my shit.
It didn't really sound like it had, I guess because it's Hood.
Yeah.
It has a different feel than the rest of the album. It definitely sounds like Adam could have cut this similar to the same way you cut that.
Right.
Was that was that intentional, or is that just the way it came out?
I think it's just the way he wrote it, and we didn't want to stray too far from it.
Was it just a guitar and vocals when you heard it?
No, it was a full thing.
Oh, really?
Because him and Bonnie Bishop wrote it, so I got to.
So it was a
listen
full.
Yeah,
Okay, I got you.
It'd been like, there were guitar parts, there was everything about it, and of course we improvised on that and kind of did our own thing on that, and it doesn't sound like too similar to the original, but we did want it to be, because it was such a good song. We just wanted it to be kind of how he did it, and then getting him to sing a verse on it. Come on.
How was that phone call?
Well, I was like, do you think he'd come sing harmonies on it? And he was like, I'm on tour. And I was like, I'm on tour. I won't even be there. Do you think you can do it from your house or whatever? And it ended up that he was like, I can just drive up to Decatur and do it. So he got there. And he was like, I don't know about these harmonies, dude. I'm just I'm just gonna go ahead and sing the second verse, which I felt was like the best thing I did on the whole record was that second verse on that song. I was like, I nailed it, and I'm never
You
like
didn't
that.
wanna give it up?
No, I was always like, I'm the worst, and then I was like that one verse, and so they sent it over, and as soon as he opened his mouth, I was like, shit. I was like, this is perfect.
That's yours.
Yeah, and I didn't care because the fact that he's singing now, he's not just singing harmonies on it, but you get to actually hear him, the person that wrote it, sing it the way that he wrote it is. I mean, it's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. It's my mom's favorite thing that I've ever done. I have to remind her, like, I didn't write that one, Mom. Thanks.
Was she? So she was a Hood fan?
I think everybody's a Hood fan
In Alabama.
Yeah. If you're not, you're living under a rock.
Well, I've been preaching that gospel for as long as I can. I've seen several times here, and it was. Memphis doesn't necessarily support folks until you reach a certain level, you know, and which I'm sure is a lot of places. But
the South is pretty much like that. It's
everywhere.
Weird.
Yeah. So he's, there's been several shows that he's played here where he's like, so what do you want to hear? Because there's 10 of us.
I'd rather buy that ticket than the.
Oh, it was great for us.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him. One of them was the album release party, and no, but he was exactly the way he always was.
Yeah.
Gotta
love him.
I'm glad as a fan. I'm glad to know that.
Yeah.
As far as that he does have that reach, and I can tell that because of his when you start talking to other musicians.
Yeah.
And writers or whatever, they're like, Hood, man.
Yeah.
He's
the man, dude.
Yeah.
And genuinely one of the most kind and thoughtful people I've ever met.
He was cool on the podcast too. I love that. Again, I think it's really cool that the song, he really could have sang the whole song in that recording and it still sound like an Adam Hood song.
Yeah.
That's really cool how you guys did all that. So you do have like half of that album you did write.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you have a pretty, like a certain way you write, or are you just whenever?
Usually it's just one-liners in the front of the van contemplating my life. What the hell am I doing here? No, it really is. It's never for me just like sit down and I'm going to purposely write a song today because I'm too ADHD for that shit. And it's always kind of a slow progression of. I mean, there's been times where I've just sat down and written a song because I was pissed off enough or whatever. But mainly it's like a one-liner here, and then I'll end up finishing the whole thing, when I'm by myself and on my free time or if I'm,
Just whenever it...
Yeah, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. I need to get a lot better at that and be more disciplined. But God, when do you have time? I'm like in a box in the back doing this all day because the shocks aren't on it and it's a little hard to concentrate.
I understand. I mean, it's hard to concentrate just with a normal, life.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, not being home or in a rarely comfortable situation.
Right.
But there's material for. You have a lot more material, or chances for material for a job.
A lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I bet so.
Yeah.
So you went from the singer-songwriter sort of vibe to putting the band together. How did the band where did that start? How did that come together for you? You went through a couple different phases, right?
A lot of turnover.
Okay, well, the guys that you have right now, you seem pretty tight with.
Yeah.
How has that come together?
I guess I always wanted a band. I never wanted to be my own thing. I always was searching for a specific sound and for that sound to be the same thing every night. And when you hire players in or you have that much turnover, it doesn't represent that, because then the guitar player may be different, the bass player may be different, the way the guy plays drums, it all changes. And I've had solid bands before and for, at least a year at a time. And being on the road is not an easy thing. You have to find people. It's really 50% talent, 50% the hang. You've got to be able to be down to, okay, we just ran out of gas in an RV, we got to push it. Or we're going to sleep in the parking lot of a Love's if the door doesn't lock, we may die. We need to figure it out.
Right.
You know, you have to find the people that are just crazy enough to want to do it and search for that life that me and my husband do. Josh, the guitar player, we've been playing together for 5 years, ever since we got together. And then Tyler, the other guitar player, came along about 3 years later, and he's been with us since. And Ethan's been with us for exactly a year. We met him at a Steelwood show. And we had never heard him play, and our bass player had done some shitty things, and we're like, we're going on a freaking 54-day run. We don't have a bass player. And he's like, well, I play bass. And I was like, I haven't even heard you, but you look cool, and you're at a Steelwood show. We'll take you. So he's been with us for about a year. And then Bobby, the drummer, he's been with us for about 8 months, 7 months. Feels like a lifetime. But this group of guys that I've got right now, I don't think anybody's going anywhere, because we all love each other and respect each other and are just crazy enough to do it.
So you didn't really start out wanting to be Taylor Hunnicutt.
No.
You wanted it to be a band name.
Always.
Yeah, but you.
But here I am.
What? Understand.
Yeah.
You can't always map it out exactly the way that.
I always hated my name, and I was like, man, it's just redneck enough. It might work. Hunnicutt. You know.
And the fact that y'all have a sound.
Yeah.
Even though it's your name on the front, like
Yeah.
that's. I understand what you mean. You wanted that. It felt natural to have a band name,
Right.
But also, it is cool that you found that your sound with your guys. Is that something that you were really searching for, a certain sound, or did it just because it was these certain players, it just kind of just happened and you're all like, yeah, there it is?
I think it's a little bit of both, really. I knew what I wanted, and I definitely wanted, like, the 2 electric guitars. It's like classic Southern rock. Potentially add a third one day. Like, I wanted that, and I knew I liked the way that, like, Ethan can kind of hold it down on bass. There were specifics that I knew I wanted, but I also don't want to stifle, what's the word here? Alabama education. Like, who they are as players, because they all come from different backgrounds.
Understood.
Tyler's more of a jam band kind of guy. My husband's straight up classic country. Bobby plays like, he's from Pensacola, Florida. He plays like beach, like he loves reggae and shit like that, and which I love too. And Ethan likes Paramore. Like, everybody brings a little bit of who they are into it, and it's really created this thing now. So it's within the guidelines of what I thought originally, but it's even cooler than I thought it would be. Because they get to be who they are.
And you not to sound too cheesy or whatever, but you love those dudes and the sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love them to death.
That's
Don't tell them I said that. I need to keep that level of being scared.
We'll edit that out. Yeah. I don't think they'll not be scared of you still. All right. So I did listen to some other podcasts, and I hate to steal a lot of information from other people, but it's something that I thought was super cool and fascinating, and they're hot right now. The Red Clay Strays. You have a long relationship with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
You said they played your wedding.
They did. 3 years ago.
Which they've, a lot's changed in a year.
Yeah.
A year for them.
Yes.
But still, how did you meet those guys way back then? I know they've been road dogs for a long time.
Yeah.
They're from Alabama also.
Yep.
So there's just circles.
Yeah. I mean, we were playing Floribama. They were playing Floribama. We were grinding out, doing 4-hour gigs. I don't really know the first time. I think we opened for them Exotica or something. But as soon as we met them, it was like an instant, family thing. We all respect each other and love each other. And the cool thing about them is that they don't forget where they're from and who the people that have been behind them the whole time are. They've never forgotten that, and there's no arrogance, there's no too big for the britches. I mean, they're huge now,
right.
and they still treat us just like they did.
Which is why they have Hood opening.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
You're going.
Yep.
You're on the road with them too soon,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Did we just play with them? Everything's a blur. We'll be with them. We're opening one of their Ryman shows.
That's what. Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy.
And you said in that thing you've never been to the Ryman
No.
or any of that stuff.
No, it's crazy. I mean, I cried Cody, their manager, called me, who I've had a great relationship with too. I mean, we're like family.
And that's a hell of a pairing, though.
Yeah.
One, you get to play the Ryman
Yeah.
just in general.
Yeah.
And then two, it's with buddies.
Yeah, with my homies.
I don't know if they've played the Ryman or not. I'm not sure. I'm not educated on that or not. But either way, it would be.
I think it's their first time, and they did the 3 nights, and it sold out so fast. They could have done 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I love them so much, man. I'm so proud of them.
Only time I've ever been to the Ryman, I saw Jinx there one time.
Oh man, how was that?
It's just like you said, it's just a cool room.
Yeah.
So it
crazy.
doesn't really necessarily matter
Yeah.
who it is, But yeah, it was and Ward Davis opened.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you could tell all that. Like Ward seems more emotional.
Yeah.
Than Jinx, or at least outward.
Yeah.
So you could tell he was happy.
Yeah, of
You know
course.
what I mean? Because he's got his family and he lives in Nashville, so it was just a bigger.
It's huge.
I don't want to say it's a bigger deal, but it's just more of a connection.
Right.
With him being in town.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and congratulations on getting to play there.
Thank you.
That's cool. Be looking forward to all the
Yeah, it's gonna be
content.
crazy.
I know there's going to be some content, so we'll make
My
sure.
eyes are gonna be puffy and be crying the whole time.
Yeah, and the other person, I don't know if you've ever been around her, but the other person that was the first opener was Sunny Sweeney.
So I'm a big Sunny fan, but
I kind of had a feeling.
I've never gotten to meet her. So one day I will. But
She seems super cool.
yeah, she's OG. She's a badass.
And she's been on the road forever.
Yeah.
She had Nashville hits, but she's been grinding for a long time.
She still does. It's crazy, man. And she's gorgeous.
It's her and her dog and her husband.
Not even fair. It's not even fair.
I don't know if they're married. I don't know if they're married.
I don't know if they are either.
They're together anyway.
I just care about her.
Sorry.
I just want to see her.
Sorry.
Hopefully I get to meet her one day, though. I'd probably freak out.
She's played here several times.
Heck yeah.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
So I guess we'll go back to when you did you grow up around music? Was music in your household, or was that something you found outside of the house?
Like 80s hair metal, definitely in the household.
Gotcha.
My mom listened to like James Taylor and 90s country. So, I mean, I got a little bit of everything, but I did touring girls chorus as a 3rd grader. Went to Canada and sang in cathedrals and stuff. And then I kind of stopped doing it and then got a guitar when I was 16 or 17. I can't ever remember what year I got a guitar. But then I just started going from there, and then I went to college for opera, which makes no sense. And then I dropped out and started playing in blues bands, and now I'm here. So I don't know. My sister can sing, but she found that out later, and she's in a band now. But nobody in my family is really musically inclined. I never really saw anybody do it. I called him my uncle. I didn't know he was my uncle until I was way older, but Wayne Mills. And him and my stepdad were very close growing up, so I always looked up to him and got to open for him when I was 16.
Really?
In front of 5 people. It was great.
Yeah, he was one of the ultimate Bama road dogs too.
Absolutely. And so that, I think, kind of inspired me in a way. That was probably the closest thing I had to somebody, in my family, in my realm that did it. But he was just about it.
That's a hell of a person to be
Yeah.
around. I don't think a lot of people in this area really get how big of a deal he was in Alabama.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know him.
Yeah.
Really until the Brent and Adams song.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
King of Alabama. Yeah. It was them two together. So yeah, I didn't really. He wasn't on my radar either.
Yeah.
But once he is, you start realizing how big of a deal.
It was amazing.
How big of a deal he was.
Sure was.
But so you were in blues bands and all that kind of stuff. I guess you didn't really necessarily find the sound that you have now until recently.
Yeah.
So, but you always kind of had that idea.
Yeah. It's always. I always loved Southern rock, and obviously loved Skinner and Blackfoot and Molly Hatchet and all those things. And that was always what I wanted to do, but I was too scared because there's not, I'm not saying there is no, but there's not a whole lot of female fronted bands that do that. There's not a lot that try to follow after that or are wanting to progress into that, and that's what I think we're slowly as a band trying to work towards.
No, that's cool.
So there's more females that are like, let's do it. You know, why
Yeah.
not? You can be ballsy. You don't have to be pretty all the time. You can sweat. You can, you know, sing your ass off.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, rock and roll, dude. Why not?
So you can be that in between
Yeah.
Sonny and Joan Jett.
I'll
or
take
whatever,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take it. I would love to
I
be.
sent him a video of the one of the things I saw of you with doing the Blackfoot tune
Yeah.
live. Well, how? For one, most people only know a couple, you know, the hits
Right.
about Blackfoot. So you had to dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
For what was it, Left Turn on a Red Light,
Yeah.
right? You had to dig a little deeper for that one.
Yeah.
Why that song? How did it come together? I know you're a big Southern rock person.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, we were talking about, we just recorded another record. It's coming out in October, and it's an EP. And we're like, man, we got to put we got to put a cover on there. We got to put something cool that's Southern rock on it. You know, like the Steelwoods do with, you know, a Petty cover or Skinner or anything. You know, we were like, let's do something cool. And I had been on a Blackfoot kick, and I was like, man, I don't know, a Highway song would be cool, but I feel like everybody knows it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to do something different, and Left Turn just ended up being that one. It's badass. It's such a great song.
Your video is great. If anybody that happens to be watching or
Hell
listening
yeah.
to this, YouTube that. Go
Yeah.
check that out. So I didn't realize that it was going to be on the album.
Yeah,
though.
it's recorded.
That's cool.
Yeah.
In October.
Yeah, in October.
All right then. So we'll have to talk again and promote all that. I guess you've done all the Texas and Red Dirt scene and all that kind of stuff. How did you get? I don't want to say initiated, but how did that start happening for you? How did you get from Alabama into that? Was it just the people that book you kind of started getting you there, or?
For a long time, it was just us booking ourselves. I mean, we just recently kind of got a booking agency, but we would book it ourselves. And my husband was in a different band at the time, and so he had some connections that way. And he would take me out to open, and they would invite me back, and it was really cool. We kind of started going to Fort Worth, and then it kind of expanded from there, and then we did a lot in Oklahoma, like a lot in Tulsa at Mercury Lounge. We got an opportunity to do like a residency happy hour, $100 every day for the week, and I kind of grew it from there. And it, Oklahoma, Texas, right there. So naturally, we just kind of did that. And now I'm very lucky that I'm friends with a lot of bands in that area. Like Silverado, we're about to go out with them, formerly known as Mike and the Moon Pies. We're about to go out and play Billy Bob's in Green Hall and all of this with them in 2 weeks. It's crazy.
I'm hoping I get to talk to them in November. I'm shooting for that.
I bet you will. There's the nicest.
They're playing a Jason Eady festival in Clarksdale,
I'll be there.
Mississippi. Yes, you are. You're on the bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll tell them.
Okay.
I'll vouch for you.
Yeah.
But he's cool as hell.
Yeah. They're like, don't talk to that guy.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
I love Edie.
Definitely. Yeah.
I got a song
he's
coming out
another
with
one
Edie.
that's came. You recorded a song with him?
I did.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. When's
I don't know
that?
if I'm allowed to say that. Sorry, Edie. I think it's coming out in August. Close. It's a recut of a song he already did, but he asked me to come in and do it.
But it's going to be out by the time the festival thing
Yeah.
happens.
So we'll do it live.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, did you meet him through Hood, through the Texas scene?
I met him more. I've always been a huge Courtney Patton fan, so I made friends with Courtney, and then I think being closer with Courtney and the Mile Zero crew, and
okay.
and then Adam, it just kind of naturally happened.
I've heard about the Mile Zero stuff as far as I don't know if I'll ever be able to attend one of those, but the more of a hang that it is, that everybody just kind of chills and
It's
hangs
awesome.
out.
God, it's like you get to just hang out with, and then you're like sitting at the bar, and people that you've been like eating just walk in, or like with Mike, and then Tanner's over here and Stray's over here, and everybody's just hanging out. And I just look around and I'm like, am I cool enough to be here?
Like Cody Canada and all these
and
different
then they're
people.
walking by, and it's insane just the plethora of talent that's just hanging out in the karaoke
And I'm
bar.
sure they're way more approachable than you really
Oh yeah.
thought they would be.
Yeah. Also, you're in Key West, so everybody's having
So
a
they don't-
great time. Yeah. Everybody's having
They're
the
way
best
more
time.
loose.
Yeah.
Understood.
Everybody's so nice when it comes down to it. I've never really had anybody in the scene that's, higher up really ever be rude to me.
Wonder if it's because it's so difficult.
I think everybody respects that you're trying to do it.
When you're road dogging,
Yeah.
they're like, okay,
Yeah.
you're paying your dues.
Yeah. And that's all.
You're not trying to get anything that they haven't done or
Right.
anything else.
If people see you work
bet
hard, they
so.
respect that because they did that.
I
you
bet
know?
so. I can completely see where
Yeah.
you're earning your stripes.
Right.
So when you're meeting everybody like Jamie Lynn or
Yeah.
whoever
Love her.
that's been
God.
doing, yeah, saw her and Edie together,
Yeah.
which was funny.
Right. They're. I don't know, it's
Yeah, they
hilarious.
were hilarious together, but also the talent was. Of course, Edie's going to do his thing. He's going to be super smooth.
Right.
But then her Emmy Lou harmonies over top of him was just
So cool.
just stupid good.
She's the
you know?
best, dude. She's a freaking warrior. You know?
It is kind of cool how that community is built, but it keeps growing. It doesn't seem like there's a circle of people, and they're not willing to let anybody else in
Yeah.
that circle, because there's a huge experience and age gap and everything else between like even yourself to Hood to everybody
Yeah.
in that thing, which is I think I saw part of that during the COVID stuff when they were doing the sequestered stuff. That you could tell. I don't think most of us realized how buddies they were.
Yeah.
Until stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But it is cool as far as you getting to go to Mile Zero and
Yeah.
and really see all of that firsthand.
It's crazy.
And as a fan,
Yeah. I'm just sitting in the corner, like, listening to them talk about life and, like, taking notes.
instead of recording the
Right.
the concert, you're recording them talking.
I'm like, do you say it a little bit louder? What do I need to do?
What phone number was that? Yeah.
Exactly.
I know we're not supposed to share those phone numbers, but
They're all super nice, man.
one of the things I like to ask is like, have you? I know you're just sitting, especially like this album and everything. It's relatively new, but have you ran across anybody covering your songs, like on the internet or any of that stuff? And if so, like how? If you see that,
I'd freak out.
right?
I'd have a come apart, dude. I've got two buddies that separately cover some of my older songs in Birmingham, and when they do, I get a video, and it's freaking so cool. It's like that's the biggest honor, and it's amazing to even think that anybody would give a shit enough to want to cover it, you know. But if I like saw somebody doing a video of it or something, I'd cry. I'd cry like a little baby.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Morning Stars said similar thing as far as just being that was the ultimate compliment.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you took time out of your day to learn it and you liked it enough that you
Especially
wanted
if it was
to do
something
it.
you wrote.
Yeah, and do it better than me, please. It won't be hard.
It won't be hard.
It won't be hard.
Well, I won't keep you too much longer. I know you got stuff.
Wow, we're having fun.
You got stuff to do. First concert
Ever?
Who was your
NSYNC.
first? NSYNC was your first concert.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was not cool. It's not a cool
You
one.
didn't want it that way.
No, dude, I did
No?
not want it that way. Yeah.
Well, Timberlake. This is his area, right? Not anymore. He didn't give a shit about,
I was like, he's
But-
in the Hamptons, isn't he?
Yeah, he's never here.
Getting in trouble.
They claim him here, but I don't. It doesn't matter.
We'll take him.
Yeah,
He's Southern.
that's fine.
We'll take him.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Oh, he used the bathroom here one time. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he lives here.
No, he owned the golf course here at one point in
I'm
time. He's
sure.
from the area, but I don't think he's been here since
Probably not.
Mickey Mouse Club.
Right.
So that's the first country
Yeah.
concert then.
It's not
Not any
Kenny-
better?
It's not. It's Kenny Chesney. I think it was Kenny Chesney. I think I went with a group of girls from elementary school to go see Kenny Chesney, and one of his fraternity brothers spilt beer all over me, and It was a traumatic experience. Now if you spill beer on me, I'm
You
like,
don't care.
Yeah. This is cool.
I saw him one time here with, I believe it was Keith Urban, I believe.
Ah.
You couldn't hear anything he was singing because they were literally screaming like it was an NC concert.
Weird.
It was actually like, you know, like I understand you like him, but y'all
Shut
stop
the hell
screaming.
up. Yeah, shut the hell up.
so we can hear the concert.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it was Kenny Chesney. I don't know.
No, it's just.
I don't have good ones. Don't ask me what my first record was either, because it's embarrassing too.
I don't know. Well, now we're supposed to ask that then.
It was the Monkees.
Well, that's all right.
The Monkees.
That's okay.
None of this makes sense to who I am today. It's like
No, but I think that's but when you know, cheesy is okay
Right.
when you're young. I mean,
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I'm a vinyl guy. I've got a couple Monkees albums.
Yeah.
You know, not that I listen to them very often, but they're there.
Now
Just
you gotta
'cause it
go
was
home
part
and
of my
listen to 'em,
childhood.
yeah.
No, I don't really want to go listen to them.
He said, nah.
But when I saw them for $1, I'm like, I watched that TV show when I was a
Yeah.
kid. You know what I mean? I listened to it when I was just because.
Why
you know. So what is? You've got a new album coming out in October. What's different between the new stuff and this stuff? Is it was there any kind of like evolution? Was there an intent to be different, or is it just to put out more cool songs that y'all dig?
I think what we went in to do, it was for the Peacemaker Festival. We got chosen to be the Emerging Artist of the Year, so they set us up in the studio for a week for free and paid for all of it, and it was amazing. I love
What a
those
hell of a
guys.
gift.
I know, it's amazing. It's the best gift you could possibly give a band, except for a van. Just
A
kidding.
van. If
A
anybody wants to
tour
give a
bus.
van,
No, really, I think it goes farther than even that.
understood.
Something material because
it lasts.
yeah,
It's an opportunity.
exactly. And the studio was amazing, and we went into it, and I think Alabama Sound the record. I was trying to bridge the gap between that singer-songwriter Taylor that we saw in 2018 and move it into more of the Southern rock country vein. And I think naturally the record coming out in October is just going to keep doing that, I think, with having Blackfoot song on it and some heavier songs that are kind of reminiscent of like Drive-By Truckers and things like that. I think it's slowly moving into that Southern rock thing.
But you probably have your sound with these guys more now than you did at the beginning of when you were making that
for
record.
sure. I do. I definitely do. And so
Is it pretty much the same?
The bass player and drummer are different.
So it's but you've been touring with this group for a while.
Yeah.
So when you go into the studio, and you've already been like out on the road, you were already kind of knocking these songs out anyway, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you go into the studio, it was, I don't want to say old hat, but you were able to roll
Some
with
of
it.
them were new. One of them is a recut of a song that I put out a long time ago, and it just sounds so much better now because of the sound and the guys, the players, and how I've progressed. And I think it's going to be really, really cool. I'm supposed to listen to the mixes today. I haven't listened to them yet, but I think it's going to be cool. I like it. I think.
Cool.
Yeah, it better be cool.
Do y'all, is that something, do y'all record it live, full band?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll do like some overdub stuff,
right.
but to get that energy,
100%.
I feel like you have to do it live, and we have to be able to all feel each other as
Well, you're a band.
hippy-dippy as that sounds.
A
Yeah,
lot of
we're
people
a
don't
band.
have that.
Yeah. It gets kind of stagnant and stale if you just, okay, here's your
Understood.
part, go in and do
Well,
it.
also you're proud of the band,
Very proud
so you want everybody to hear the band
what they can do. Yeah.
and not really change it up more than what it is.
I want it to be reminiscent of the live show.
Completely understand.
Yeah.
So when they come to hear you live, they're going to hear pretty much what.
Yeah. Not
I
too
mean,
much different.
Well, that's the being authentic like that. It always lasts more, and all of your favorites, all of our favorites.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that really stand out are the ones where it's organic like that anyway.
It's real.
Mm-hmm.
The best albums have always been the live ones.
Yeah.
And you hear all the string slide, the mess ups,
Yeah.
all the time.
That's my favorite.
It's the humanity in it.
Yeah, but they're a
Absolutely.
band. It's not perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the. Well, one of my questions was, who have you met along the way that's blown you away? That's kind of when I have my notes here. But you have met a bunch of people, I
I've
think,
met a lot of
that
bunch.
you were starstruck by, or you know what I mean, or just in
Everyone.
general. Yeah, which that says a lot because you were a fan. Like, yeah, you went to a Kenny Chesney concert.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people have, but you also know who, you know, the Road Dog guys
Yeah.
are too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But you knew a lot of those even before you started playing.
Yeah.
So that, of course, you were a fan.
Yeah.
You know, that is cool. Is there like one that you were just like you said, Sonny, but has there been one so far that just like really floored you, or not necessarily?
I think
Or is it
like
every time?
really getting to see. I mean, I think getting to see Whitey and actually getting to play with Whitey has been one of the ones because I've been such a Whitey fan for so long, and finally getting to go out on the road. He's one of the ones that scares the shit out of me. Now he doesn't as much, you know. He'll come up and give me a hug, but initially seeing him and
He's
the
kind of an
presence,
introvert, right?
yeah, but like his presence, you know,
Mhm.
he has that like Waylon like presence that I could only imagine because obviously I wasn't there, but like it kind of just makes you go like,
I understand.
whoa,
Open the door like Clint Eastwood.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
It's like that thing, you know, and it's cool.
Well, that's the
and-
best part about it. Their band being as tight as they are, even if it's different members.
Yeah.
Whenever you see them, they still have that. They still have that stomp the floor.
Yep.
That vibe, and it's just badass.
Yeah.
From the beginning, and no one ever says, "Man, I love Whitey's voice."
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But it doesn't matter.
yeah,
You know, because it's the whole package.
yeah. It's the
whole,
experience,
and you don't
too.
really understand his music until you see him live.
Exactly. That's
mean,
the kind
he's
of
got-
bands I like.
He's got good music on your phone,
Yeah,
but you don't really get it
yeah.
until
You got to go see it.
you can say, well, he's just trying to sound like Waylon, or this.
No.
You can nitpick it to death.
Right.
But when you see him live,
Then you know.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I just saw a
whenever
little-
I see him, I'll be like texting them and be like, hey, we need to do this song.
Right,
We need to do-"
exactly.
They're like, sorry, I'm standing here now. We need to do outlaw.
Listen.
We need to do outlaw women.
Yes.
Exactly like this video right
Yeah.
here. You know?
We have practice tomorrow. I just got to see Elizabeth Cook play, and she was another one that was crazy because I'd always been a fan of hers, and she has that same kind of presence. I didn't get to meet her. I think she left early, but it was one of those where I was just like, wow. You know, there's a lot. They're all like that to me.
I bet so.
Every single time I see Hood, every single time I see Strays, every single time I see even people that have been my friends forever, it's still that, like, I'm still so in awe of what they do and learn from it and steal from them.
Yeah, I got you.
You got to.
I got you. Well, they do too.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
everybody from, you know, I've heard Hood talking about stealing from John Hyatt and
Yeah.
and Delbert McClinton and
Yeah.
all those guys. I mean, it's a different vein, but he's still doing the same thing.
Yep.
Look, I'll let you get out of here. I appreciate the time.
Yeah.